So I spent about the last 15 minutes busting up this wood with a demon maul. You know, it's easy work. I really don't understand why anybody actually complains. Actually, I'm only joking. I got a new toy. I did actually buy this, and this is amazing. But there is no way I could buck this much wood that fast. However, with this, I can tell you that this thing is a beast. This is probably maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of work. I could actually talk about how to put it together, but there's actually a great video by RuggedMade that actually walks you through the whole steps. I just wanted to review this and kind of talk about my likes and dislikes of it. So I want to go over some of the pros and cons, and everybody always starts with the pros, which always drives me crazy. So I want to start with the cons because there's really not a whole lot. And one that's a pro and a con, I guess. I guess the con is this is a $5,000 machine, and most people are like, why would I do that? Well, the pro side of that is the fact that any other wood splitter that has actually a hydraulic lift on this thing is closer to $10,000. So can it compete? Well, I don't know. I've never had any of the rest of them. This just looked like a really good system, and so this was the one that we went with. A lot of people say, well, why do you need a hydraulic lift? I'm not getting any younger, and I wanted to buy one machine that I didn't have to sell it whenever I was getting older, and I figured this thing will last long into after I get older. I can actually use the hydraulic lift. I don't have to lift the rounds to do the splitting, and I've seen the stand-up one, but again, I wanted this to be for the long term. So some of the cons that I want to kind of talk about is actually the directions. The directions are amazing. They really are. They walk you through every step of the way, exactly where everything goes. My one issue with it is the fact that they're on YouTube, which, hey, obviously we're on YouTube as well, and we like YouTube. But the problem is, we were building it inside of a metal building. And I can tell you, as you saw if you watched the video of us putting it together, we both disappeared like every 2-3 minutes because we had to go out, buffer the YouTube video, figure out what we were doing, and then come back in. I mean, I get it that we're going to an electronic age, but even if I was able to get a PDF, maybe it's on there, or maybe I could have reached out to the company and they would have sent it to me. But it was one of those things, I had a friend come over and help out, so I needed to do it right then. One of the other cons, and this might not necessarily be a con, is this is extremely difficult to do by yourself, putting it together. Maybe, you know, you have friends, so maybe that's not a big con. I have a few, so that's good. So on to the pros. The pros are this thing is a beast. We went with a Raven motor, which is basically the same thing in the Predator. The Harbor Freight version makes the same one. Quite frankly, it's a beast. I mean, it's a 420 cc's. I think it's 15 horse, and it just works. I mean, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, you get into kind of some twisty wood, and you know, any log splitter is gonna slow down. This thing did not. I mean, it just ripped right through the wood. like I said, I was just, I mean, I hate to say it, just kind of playing around with it. And I already bucked over a cord of wood, almost close to 2, to be honest with you. Now I got to figure out where I'm gonna put it all. But I mean, I had all of this. This is gonna take a while, especially if you're splitting it by hand. Some people are that good. I'm just not one of those people. One of the cons that I have is these pins. These pins are a pain in the butt, and they're in some of the weirdest spots. So 2 of them are right here on this table. The problem is that you have to reach around and you have to get this pin out in order to slide these things out. I don't know if that actually made sense, but that actually, of course, came out really easy. But they're kind of a pain because you're reaching around and you're trying to get it from underneath. They're not easy to come out, so whenever you're moving it, then that's a pain. There's also 2 more right here on this tray. So what I did was I actually switched them out for these. These are quick release. You just push the pin in, or the button in, and they slide right out. These can go in, they're like 20 bucks. I'll put a link to Amazon, the exact ones that I'm using, in the description below. But I got 4 of them, so all of these are actually getting replaced on my system. This thing will fold up nice and easy. I don't know that I would ever haul it on the road for long distances, even though it's supposedly designed with that, with these tiny tires. I don't think you're supposed to go over like 40 miles an hour, and I almost hit 40 miles an hour by the time I hit the end of my driveway. So probably not gonna leave the property, and I'm actually okay with that. So one of the other things, you can operate this by yourself. Now this thing can actually go in a few different configurations, and we sat there and talked about it for a few minutes and couldn't come up with a good solution, so we just put it in the regular spot. I figured I can just adapt. This thing will, I mean, this is for your ram and this is for your lift. You can operate it from over there, but as you can see, you're going to be in a really tight spot if you're right here. And I'm not even sure if this is safe. I don't know. So really, you're going to be over here. Now, some people would say, okay, well, it's going to slow you down because you're going to have to walk around every single time. But when you get to my age, I actually kind of like that because it gives me a chance to kind of catch my break, catch my breath, maybe grab some coffee or some water, which is probably what I guess I should be drinking. But this thing, again, I don't know how in the world you would be upset with this. If you can afford to kind of get this one, they have cheaper packages. This is a 37 ton. They have a smaller one. If you can't afford the 37 ton, get the smaller one. I'm assuming it's just as good as that one. I'm not sponsored by RuggedMade. They don't pay me. I mean, if RuggedMade would like to sponsor me, you can give me the money back for it, because it really is a nice one. They actually have a 6-way as well. I don't know where I'd actually use that, but the 4-way was busting everything that I've gotten here. So again, I'd say this was a good investment. One of the things that you're going to have is a lot of wood that you're going to have to split. You can either pay somebody to do it, you can do it by hand and be macho man, a good machine, put belly acres. Comment below if you have had any problems or if you have one and you love it. We need good tools on a homestead. Buy once, try once, you know, spend the extra money to get something good. Thanks for watching.